Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast today, Smeraglia Unleashed.
Welcome.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here today and for you guys to join us because we have a topic today that is very near and dear to both of our hearts, right?
Yes, it is. It's going to be a special episode.
Yes.
And we both love it, and it's something that we both are walking through.
Yes. So both of us have senior dogs, and we're going to talk about life living with a senior dog, what that actually means. And we're just going to talk about the different changes that occur and just living life and doing life with our seniors. And they're so sweet.
I know. I think each season of owning a dog has its own joyful moments, its own investment, but each season is different. And you can enjoy each one of them, even in their golden years. It can be special.
That's true. And, you know, if you guys have a senior dog, we would love for you to, if you can participate in our chat today, to share pictures or stories about your senior dog.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what breed it is. We know that when you have a dog and you've done life with them, they make such an impression on you that will be a
Yes.
lifelong lasting impression.
And that would be so sweet for you guys to interact. And that's always our goal is for you guys to kind of connect with us. But on this particular topic, it would be extra special. So please do that if you get the opportunity.
You know, the aging process affects dogs just like it does all of us. And so there's a lot of changes that occur. So this is going to be a really incredible topic. But before we get started in our main topic, we just want to make sure that you stay connected with us, with our memberships and on our social media platforms.
Yeah, again, that's so important to us to stay connected. You guys are a huge portion of us and making the things we do very impactful. And we love relationships and we love connectivity. So if you will make sure that you stay connected, whether that be through our Instagram, our Facebook, I say do all of them because each one has its own unique content.
They do.
And it's a lot of fun to follow and watch, and it's just a bunch of goodness and a way for you to stay connected with us. Of course, we don't want you to miss out on any of our podcasts because those tend to have more a thread of education that is uniquely its own topics apart from our other platforms. So be sure that you like and subscribe here on YouTube. But also, if it's a little confusing and you're not sure how to do it or the difference between joining and subscribing, let's watch Jordy, and he's going to explain that to you now.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today on our episode of Smeraglia Unleashed. For those of you who are wanting to join as a member of the podcast, I wanted to walk through the steps in which you can join. So if you'll go to our homepage on our YouTube account, Teddy Bear Goldendoodles, what you'll see is join and subscribe. So if you click the subscribe button, over here in the subscriptions folder, you'll find our account will be populated there. And anytime that we share or upload a video, you'll be alerted in your subscriptions panel. However, if you're wanting to join the podcast, what you'll do is simply click join, and it'll bring up the different levels of membership, bronze, silver, or gold. And if you click on each one of those, it'll give you the benefits that go along with each. Once you decide which level of membership is right for you, you'll simply click join. It'll bring up your credit card information for you to fill out, and then you'll click buy, and from there you will be a member of the podcast. For those of you who select either silver or gold level membership, if you would, email us at unleashed@smeraglia.com and let us know that you joined as a silver or gold member, and from there we'll get you the appropriate discount code for Fletch and Lo. And again, if you have any other questions, you can also email us at unleashed@smeraglia.com. Thanks so much, and hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Jordy. He's so smart.
So smart.
We also do magic tricks here on our podcast. Ta-da! We just transformed Sherry.
It's Sherry, just in a different body.
So this is Taylor. Taylor is our social media manager, everyone. I'm sure if you follow us on any of those platforms we were talking about, you have seen her lovely face. You've definitely seen her beautiful work because she has transformed all of our platforms into something really, really pretty.
Along with your help and Sherry's help. It's a
collective
fun
effort.
team effort. We have a great time doing our social media and being able to show you guys all of that and share it with you. It's really, really fun.
It is. And what I like about it, and Sherry can attest to this as well, when I started here, it was very basic the way our social media was. It was minimal and basic, but still effective back then.
Right.
But we did not have the benefits that we do now of staying connected with, our families and friends,
Right.
but the dogs.
That's so true. The way that it's transformed has been insane, and it's so fun for us to be able to see, our puppies born here, and then we get to see them go home, create Instagram accounts, TikToks, and we get to see them mature and grow through the years, which has been a true blessing and very, very fun.
Yeah, because that's something that we just would miss out on before because they didn't really have as many platforms to share the life of their dogs. And that has allowed us to form just lasting relationships and share that and see that. And it's as fun as that is and as cute as that is, it also helps us on an educational side and tracking and a health side. And so social media has actually, it can get such a bad rap on many other areas. But for us, it has been such a wonderful tool.
It's been awesome.
To stay connected. And that's something that we wanted to highlight today is just how much it has impacted not only our company, but just our relationships with all of you and staying connected and getting to share the stuff that we see. You share it in such a beautiful way. And this week, since we are talking about senior dogs, you put something out there for our people to get connected with. What did you do?
So I really got excited about this week's episode, and I decided to put a post out, maybe with the nudge of our team. We kind of created a graphic and put that out there and said, hey guys, if you have a senior dog from us, go ahead, comments and pictures and stories. And we got some really great feedback. And it's really fun to see those clients who are so invested in their dogs and still invested in staying a part of this community.
Yes.
Which is really, really awesome. We have so many groups that have been created through all of this. So it's really sweet. So some of these people sent in some little blurbs.
Yes.
And I would love to read some of them to y'all because it's so cute. So this one, Selena, 16 and a half years old.
So is she the oldest one up there? Let's see.
I think that's the oldest. Isn't that insane? She said, Selena Blue. So from our Selena. So I guess you pronounce it Ole. It's Ole is the name of the dog who is our Selena Blue. So sweet.
Ole.
So the absolute best dog ever. She said our vet just told us today that his condition is like an 11-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that really cool? I thought that was
16 and a half. Wow.
That was amazing. And then
A schnoodle.
and then we have Frankie who just turned 16 at the bottom left.
Oh, Frankie does not.
Frankie looked good.
Yeah, Frankie looks real
Frankie
good.
looked real good. And then, of course, we have Baxter. Baxter is one of our wonderful clients' dogs, and she's super involved in our community, and it's really great. And then, of course, Reggie, another 16-year-old at the top.
There are 3 16-year-olds up there.
And then I really was excited to share Bailey's story. She's on the right, maybe the left for you guys. I'm not sure. But really cool. She's a 14-year-old Goldendoodles. She said that she has been a therapy pet doing 5 days a week for 12 of those years, including LAX Airport, UCLA Medical Center, Northridge Hospital, Holy Cross Hospital, schools in response to shootings, Ronald McDonald House, the Help Group for Autistic and Special Needs Children, and she was on Cesar Millan's Dog Nation doing pet therapy.
Wow. Way to go,
Isn't that
Bailey.
insane?
And Bailey, just a side note, cosmetic note, has probably the longest eyelashes of any doodle I've ever met. They are
Isn't that
like
crazy?
a foot long. But she is so beautiful. They all, representing schnoodles and goldendoodles here and their longevity. I mean, that speaks volumes.
Right, and it's just a fraction of the dogs that we know and that we get to be in community with. It's amazing. And we get to even do that through our doodle romps here when we get to connect. And the fun thing about social media is we not only get to share these puppies with you,
Mm-hmm.
we get to share these stories and these older pets and continue this beautiful community, the doodle community.
Yes.
And so anytime that you guys have the chance, tag us in your photos, create those Instagrams for your dogs and make those memories, because they will last a lifetime. And with the way things are now, we can keep those photos. We can share them, and you can meet litter mates or, create relationships through your dogs with other people. So
That's true.
it's beautiful.
These posts have connected people that otherwise wouldn't have been
Right.
connected. And I think that is so, so sweet. These stories are, and you asked that, yesterday or day before?
I asked it a few days ago, and so many people reached out after the fact. So I do have more stories that we will continue to share on our social media. So you can always share stuff with us. Tag us. We love it.
We love to repost. And so you see why this is so important to us. It's not just for us and our feel goods, but it goes out
Right.
to all of you to see. And it's encouraging. And you can see that age up there was just a number for those.
Just a number.
Those schnoodles and goldendoodles, they're still going strong. They look fantastic.
They do.
And we just appreciate the interaction from you guys. And
Right.
Taylor, we definitely appreciate all that you do to keep everybody connected
It's a fun job.
and sharing all the sweet stories. But as your dog does transition into the
Right.
golden years, we try to make sure that we provide all that they need
Right.
with each stage of life. And so with doing that, we try to stock Fletch and Lo with the appropriate products.
With puppyhood to maturity, we've got your tail covered.
Nice.
We really do that. That's Sherry's line. I stole it.
Got your tail covered. Okay.
I stole it.
But
But
thank you
yeah.
so much for sharing just a little bit about what you do and what that means to us
Right.
and how important. We just want to stress the power of social media here and the things that it can do, but it does require your involvement. But with that, we do want to show you the things that we can provide for your senior dog, specifically in our Fletch and Lo
You're gonna love
boutique. So stay tuned. Let's take a look.
Okay. At Fletch and Lo, we don't just sell products. We help create moments of joy with your furry friend. Nothing makes us happier than our pets, and nothing makes them as happy as a new toy or accessory. So treat them in style with the entire Fletch and Lo collection of goods and products. From the very beginning, we have tested every product that we offer, proving that we are amongst the leading purveyors of the finest canine goods available in the market. At the heart of it all, we seek to do one simple thing: nurture the relationship between dog and owner. Join us at fletchandlo.com today to create your special moments that will last a lifetime.
Poof. And we did magic again.
I'm back. Voila,
Sherry's
I'm
back.
We've got that wand that we waved. But that was such a great segment. I loved seeing all of our senior dogs.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
man, so many 16-year-olds.
I did not know she got that many 16-year-olds. I was thinking we're going to have, 12 to 14. But those 6, they looked amazing.
They look great. And you know what? It really makes me want to continue that on social media platforms, on our other ones.
Yeah.
And maybe when we link this over, we can have everybody go underneath it and continue to post their senior dogs.
Yeah.
And definitely, because those stories are just so... They touch your heart
They
because
do.
of the lives that they've lived. They're so rich, all of their lives,
I know. I just love seeing it. I love seeing all that they do and seeing for people to see that you can still fully enjoy your dog.
Yes.
And even if they are aging or elderly, it's a special kind of enjoyment.
It really is. And you think about the phases of life that our dogs go through from the time that we get them as little puppies, and they're so precious and so sweet. And Meredith and I both have senior dogs. And so this is a segment that we can really talk about because we're living it, we're walking through it. But, when you have a senior dog and then you have a younger dog, maybe a puppy or an adolescent, which we both do have in our home, we want to just kind of think through that process because life changes a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes having a senior dog, they rule the roost. London rules the roost in my house.
That's
How
true.
to sit.
That's true. They do, because they've had many years to establish a routine, and they expect that, and they expect more as they get older. And so you kind of are at their mercy of their needs sometimes.
Now, tell our audience about your home and how it goes. What's the pecking order there?
So my senior girl, I technically have 2 seniors in the home. I'm a senior living facility. But Ruthie, who will be 14 in January, she's the boss. There she is.
Look at her, sweet.
Ruthie Joe, she's my chocolate one in the middle. And then Millie Louise, Wheezy, she will be 12 in December. So they're both living their best senior life. But the pecking order for that, because the youngest, the baby of them all, is the biggest of them all, and that's Porter Edison. He is middle name. He's named after his daddy here.
I love that
Edison.
you give them all their cute little names.
You know, I've realized in life, if I give you a nickname or a middle name, or I call you by your middle name, that means you have entered into my special circle. And I think that's part of my love language. If I screw up your name, it means I love you a lot.
Love that.
But anyway, so she is still, even though she's probably the most frail, she is the boss but she's always been so respectful in her interactions and the way that she does things. So it's like when she finally does speak up, the house listens, because she's very patient. She's always let Millie and Porter eat first, or drink first, or get their snacks first. Aww. But then if she's had enough, then she'll let them know. And
if
they
they're
respect.
Overstepping or just taking advantage of her good heart,
yeah, it's really cute. I mean, it's cute to see the dynamics that dogs establish within the home, and that it's respected. But there on the left, you can see. This was something very special for me that just happened about a week ago. Ruthie got to, I guess, re-meet her son, who is 12 years old. There in the chair with us. That is actually one of her baby boys, Harlan, and he is 12 and still living a fantastic doodle life as well. So, and there were so many similarities with them, with their mannerisms and interactions, down to the way that they would come up and just lean their whole body on you. Or Ruthie, when she gets a little bit nervous, which always happens in photos, she licks her lips. He started doing the same thing. How
does she do that?
I don't think I'll demonstrate, and it probably won't sound great over the microphone.
I was thinking maybe you would show us that.
Catch me on a different day, and I might. But
this is not Yappy Hour. Yeah. If it was Yappy Hour, now she might would have done it.
You'll definitely need to follow us on Yappy Hour. Those demonstrations would definitely happen. But however, it was cute to see the similarities that were, they haven't been together for 12 years, but just know that is innately inside of him.
He's so cute.
Isn't
he adorable?
So that's a lot of fun. So that's kind of the dynamics.
And what's
there.
His name?
His name is Harlan.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I love that.
And Harlan just got a new baby last week, so now he gets to be the boss and of the new little one. So should be
that's
sweet.
So sweet. Well, that's really a great story.
Yeah.
Kind of getting a glimpse into your home.
Yeah, for sure.
Now our home is totally different, okay? Because we have a busy house. We live right here in the heart of Smeraglia Farm.
Yes.
And so everything that goes on, people are coming and going all day. People. Dogs are coming, dogs are going, all different puppies, adult dogs. And so London has had her fill of dogs and puppies. London was never a mom. She was spayed at the very beginning. Actually, Meredith's dogs came into her home because they were in our program, and she became a guardian. A guardian mom.
Guardian.
And so they went into the home, and Ruthie had some litters, and then we spayed her pretty early.
Yeah.
Once they went to Meredith's house, it was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And it's okay. I mean, it's fine. Same thing with Millie. She fell in love with Millie the same way. And so Millie also was in the program for a minute. But London was never in the program.
Yeah.
Porter is not in the program
Yeah.
at all. He actually went into her home as her pet. I mean,
Yeah.
like, she didn't kind of lure him out of
Right.
the program. It was like, I want to adopt this dog.
Right.
So you
Very
got him as a
purposely.
puppy.
Yes. The other two made me adopt them.
Yes.
You know, just with work and interacting with them, I'm like, oh, you have to be mine. But then Porter, I sought out myself, you know, like I became a client.
She wanted to go through that process as well. But for London was kind of the same way. Natalie actually started the process with London. She was like, it was her time to pick a puppy. It's funny because London has become everybody's dog. She started out with to be Natalie's puppy. Natalie picked her and named her. Look at her there. And London's the diva doodle. She has grown up with Natalie, and then Lauren somehow lured her way. We all lived in the same house. This is when, she came into our family when Lauren was still living at home.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lauren is now 35, 36, and she came into our home because London is 12 years old and will soon be 13. And so she's kind of grown up with my girls, grown up in the home. So she was like the girl's doodle. So she went through pink ears, purple ears on her birthday.
That was so
She
cute.
has had orange ears. But her big thing was the girls love to dye her ears. And it's all natural.
Yeah.
She looked so cute.
So cute.
And during the years when she would get her ears dyed, lots of doodles out there were getting their ears dyed too. So she was like a trendsetter.
Yeah, she was, but always cute. And sometimes she would dye her ears for like special causes or fundraisers.
Yeah,
And
she
so,
did a walk the cause,
yeah,
and
that
their
was
color
cute.
was orange, so she did that. But London rules the roost in our home. She has a zero tolerance for puppies because from the minute she came into the home and became the doodle, puppies would come in our home all the time where they would run up underneath her. They're all looking for, are you my mom? And so they'd all start looking for their little milk, their little ninnies. And she'd be like, she was like, none of that. So then she started the lip thing. I'm not going to do it either, but she'd do the lip thing. And when the puppies would start getting close, she's like, I'm done with these puppies. And so she'd start putting her lip up and kind of snarling them away. And so she kind of learned, I'm keeping these puppies away from me. I'm the diva.
That's right. She knew.
She
She
rules
knows
the
she's
roost.
the diva, and she
So
knows she's the boss.
lots of dogs have come through
Yeah.
our home in her 12 years.
You can do a long circle around London when they see her. Walk
Yes.
around that one. She's
If
snappy.
she's eating, so now, Fletcher is 3 years old, and Fletcher and Moo is, I think he's like 2 years old. And then you've got Lauren's 3, and then you've got Lucas's, and then you've got Bonnie, which is Jacob's doodle. And when we have dinner, a family dinner,
Is a doodle
all
roll.
the doodles, and London just walks in and rules the roost.
Yeah.
If she drinks, London doesn't want to eat unless they want to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she hates kibbles.
Yeah. But I'm going to eat this so you don't get
But
it.
if they're eating, she just walks up and she rolls the roost. They just back off.
Yeah.
And she walks up and she'll eat one kibble and just stare at them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Millie does that.
Yeah, it
Doesn't
just,
want to eat the food, but she will lord over it.
yeah.
Stands there. She has no interest in eating it.
I bet some of you guys' dogs do the exact same things that you actually know. Now, this bringing the adolescents into the home, bringing Porter in, I know you were nervous about that.
Yeah, I think the hesitation that I hear so often from our clients, I experienced myself when I was like,
So you can identify with their feelings.
because I hear, through the years, well, I don't want to do that to my older dog. We have such a good dynamic in my home now. I really don't want to mess it up, or I don't want them to think that I'm replacing them. And I
It's like
did.
guilt? Did you feel
Yeah,
guilt?
you do feel all that. You consider it, and then you go, okay, these dogs are used to accommodating to
Right.
circumstances. They are used to figuring out a way to I guess the pecking order, arrange it the right way, and then they settle into new environments. They can transition to a new environment. They can get used to things. So I understand the perspective, but then I also saw where in the beginning, when you introduce a new puppy, that's the tendency. Just like when a new baby comes home, a lot of times you're going to see maybe the pouting, maybe the silent treatment. Dogs can give you silent
They
treatment.
do it.
Did you know that?
Yeah, they do.
You're
both
gonna
experienced it.
you're going to see a little fussing back and forth possibly, but then as they adapt, they're very adaptable. Then you will catch them, and I mean you do have to catch them because they don't want you to see it at first, enjoying the new puppy or snuggling up or maybe even playing every now and then. But if they see you watching, or at least mine did, it's like, oh, no, nope, still don't like him. No, that was not me. I'm not doing it. But if given the right time and they see that they're not tossed to the side, they're not going to not get fed because of the new puppy, they're not going to get their treat or their special love or snuggles or their place in bed, then they go, okay, you're just one of us now. And that's what I have now. I just have the whole pack and everybody enjoys everybody. But you have to give it time. Don't expect the puppy to walk in and everybody, oh, yay, you're here. We've been waiting on you. Perfect.
Well, if they had their choice, they wouldn't choose it. I'm certain of that.
Right,
You know, they
right.
wouldn't choose that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so many people, I think, go into it because, see, you're thinking, well, my dog's getting this old.
Yeah.
You know, they're aging. And so I want to bring a puppy in because of the inevitable.
Yeah.
But so that's where guilt plays a role because you know why you're doing it.
Right.
But they don't.
They don't.
And
Yeah.
you got to remember that.
Yeah.
They're not inside your head and they don't know that. And it is so sweet to see them teach.
Yeah.
Little things. They don't even mean to, but
Yeah,
a puppy
right.
is always
Just by
learning. So Porter's
example.
learning.
Yeah.
You know, Fletcher's learning. Moo's learning. All the dogs in the house, they're learning. Now, from London, they'll learn to be grumpy.
Yeah.
They actually learn to respect the old ladies,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But every now and then I will catch London like running around with the ball
Yeah.
or doing the, you know, playing with the toy. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So they do pull out that inner puppy that's in them.
They do.
And I do see that in London.
Uh-huh.
It'll happen for a minute and then it'll kind of go away.
Right.
Do you feel like that her being, having a boy, like her being a girl and being this senior and bringing a boy, do you think it would have mattered, a male versus a female?
I don't think so.
don't
I
either.
think it would have mattered if it was the wrong temperament.
I do too.
You
I
know,
think
if
that.
you had one that was just, because Porter, as big as he is, he's also very aware and respectful. Now, he's clumsy and big, and if he seemingly doesn't respect personal space, that's simply because he doesn't know how to navigate his body properly yet.
They grow faster than their legs and arms and
Than their
bodies
brain.
growing than what they realize that they're now 2 inches longer
Right.
than they used to be.
He is a doofus, but
Goofy, yeah.
he's very, very goofy.
So
but
is Fletcher.
I can tell his intention is to be respectful to them and kind of. But if he had a different temperament, it could have been a different story.
That is true. So, hey, we always say it. Let's say it again. Temperament rules. There you go. But London treats all dogs pretty much the same. So all the girl dogs that are at Lauren's house, she treats the same. Big dogs, little dogs, they all get the snarl, the lip.
Yeah, it
She
doesn't matter.
treats them all the same way. But she's not really mean. But one of the things that we do have to take into effect as our dogs are aging is that health, the health situation of our dogs. And we had a few notes about those things that we wanted to make sure we covered because those are important things, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's really the difference of it being as pleasurable as it can be for your senior dog and yourself to walk through that stage of life is if you stay on top of good health and minimize the problems as you go.
With health, just like all of us, you know, as we age, things happen, our bodies change. And so we do want to take those things into account. And as we're watching our senior dog as they age, and really and truly, aging is usually like 7. They start 7. That's kind of considered an aged dog, and then 8, 9, 10. So these doodles, all the ones that we see that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I mean, really and truly, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That they are just still vibrant and
Right.
just alive and licking.
I know.
This many years later, and I love
very,
that.
very impressive. I was reading up on some of this as well, because you don't know when to qualify a dog for, okay, you are now in your senior years. And I did learn that it's different for really all dogs, but especially if they are different size dogs. Like I think Millie, who, like I said, is going to be 13, right? 12. She's going to be 12. Probably was considered, she entered into her senior years earlier than Ruthie did. Apparently the smaller ones are going to enter their senior years earlier, but they're typically last longer.
Their longevity, yeah.
Their longevity, whereas Ruthie would enter into hers like now, or when she was 10 or something like that. You know, her senior years are probably going to be a little bit shorter than Millie's. And I see that. I see, like, when I look at Millie, you wouldn't know how old she was.
No, she
at
looks
all.
still like a puppy.
Yeah, she's very
like
puppy
many
look.
of our puppies that we were looking
yeah.
at, you know.
Those 14 and 16-year-olds, that's incredible. So it's different. So there's not just like a formula. So that's why you have to pay attention to the signs of aging to qualify if your dog is technically in the senior years.
We have to pay attention to nutrition. Do you see things changing in Ruthie nutritionally? I mean, they say a lot of times that aging dogs can have a loss of appetite, but I don't see that in London.
No,
She
she
still
likes
begs
food.
the same,
Yeah.
wants the same amount of food.
Yep.
Now she does. I think her taste buds have changed. She's just done with the kibbles.
Kibble, yeah.
She really, really, really has been fed enough human food
Yeah.
and little pieces and scraps. And my mom, oh my gosh, I mean, you know, never had a dog, never wanted a dog, but her and, you know, London are the old ladies now. They're bonded because they're old ladies. And so she's like, me and you, we're the old ladies. So she'll be like at my house cleaning out the fridge, like, is this chicken good? Can I get rid of it? Sure, Mom. Next thing I know, London's got the chicken. But she has learned. I'm like, Mom, you've got to stop that, because aging dogs have to exercise and keep up their activity, and London doesn't want to do anything. So she's just going to get fat if we don't watch it. And we had to really put her on a diet.
Yeah, and that's why they do have these senior formulas, because as they get older, they do slow down. They're not as active. They still love to eat. Typically, that's still one of their favorite pastimes.
Oh, yes.
It is for mine.
Yes.
But of course, they're going to get bigger. That's going to put more stress on their joints, on their heart. So you do have to modify their diet typically as they get older.
Now, because Meredith and I both live on a farm, we don't necessarily have to go put our dog on a leash and
No.
take them on a walk. But the thing is to get them outside and
Yeah.
let them be active, because the older dogs, if we don't keep them active, it's just like us. You kind of become intolerant to
Yeah,
exercise. And then when you do exercise, then they're dealing with soreness and things like that.
And Ruthie enjoys, especially as the weather's getting cooler. I see a lot of her spryness come back, her little spunky when
Oh,
it's cool in
yeah,
there.
she
And
feels better.
She'll run. She'll, not as much as she used to, but her version of running now, which is really cute to me. I'm like, come on, girl, you got it. But she enjoys that, and I let her enjoy it as much as she wants to for that day. And then she'll find her spot under the shade tree and sit there, but you can just see it on her face. Like she's lifted her nose up a little bit, like she's taking
like,
in the
"Oh, it's
breeze,
so great."
and I'm like,
Yeah.
you are really living your best life, and you're loving this. And so you just respond to them, if they're happy and they're doing what they want to do, let them do it. Let them be dogs. Don't over analyze what they're doing. Oh,
Live
this is
the
gonna be
life.
too much. This
That's
is gonna be too
right.
little. Just let them do that, and don't overthink their old days.
Just like all of us, arthritis and joint and hip pain and all of that's true for them. And I've noticed that London is actually not jumping on the couch as much as she used to because her favorite place is on that couch. Like at nighttime when all the lights are out, we start dimming the lights, she'll jump up on the couch. And we have those big old pillows on each end of our couch, and we have 2 couches. They're big Pottery Barn pillows, furry ones. She thinks it's a dog bed.
Right.
So when I come in the morning, she's taking it, laying up on it. She's just kicked back and she's being the diva,
Yeah.
But after I was studying up and thinking about all this and really putting a lot of thought into London and her age and this podcast, I went and bought her a new orthopedic bed. She had one, and I noticed that she loved it, but it was just the orthopedic square. Well, I went and got her the one with the arms around it.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like a little sofa. She is loving that. Now I find her on it all the time. She can lean her head on that. So take those things into consideration because as they're aging, like when it's cold or damp and sometimes things like that, their joints will bother them a little bit more.
Well, I have a challenge with that. And
What is
if
that?
you have anyone has any helpful hints, I will gladly take them because I'm spending a fortune in dog beds right now. Ruthie is the same. She would love to be on the couch. She would love to stay perched on the back. She's always loved to stay perched up on whether it's an ottoman or the back of a couch. She's done it her whole life. But now she's not getting up on the couch anymore. And you just read those signs. It's not because they don't want to be comfortable. It's just, it's more uncomfortable to get there. So you make the modifications. You bring the comfortable spot down to their level. So those beds are not cheap, but they're a little
this one
hips
wasn't,
and
and I got
joints.
it at a discount place and it wasn't cheap.
No, but you want to give them the support that they need. So I have done that. Now with having Porter, who is a puppy, anything that is squishy or it's a toy. It is a toy. Throw pillows are a toy because his toys are soft and squishy and they're stuffed with stuffing, and I let him chew those up. So why not this nice new pillow you have? Why not this big toy?
Why
It is
not the whole
really
couch?
nice. This is a challenge now. So just 2 days ago over the weekend, I bought another, went to Tractor Supply, sat there, really studied the beds. What's Ruthie going to like? Got the arms. It lasted a day.
Oh, no.
So I can't put anything down for her while Porter is there because it is his chew toy. So that's my challenge, and I'm just going to say he's going to grow out of it soon.
Well, maybe you need to have an appointment with our prep school trainers.
Maybe so.
and
Maybe
discuss
so.
this topic and get a plan.
Yeah.
Because I think that would help.
I think so too. But there is one small bed that fits under a piece of furniture in my den, and it's smaller. It was more for Millie, but now Ruthie, he doesn't chew that one up. I don't know if it's because it's up under something, and that's where Ruthie stays. She's like the big dog in the little bed, and it looks funny, but she's fine.
What about getting like a large size crate? Because I have a large crate in my laundry room, and it's big enough for Fletcher.
Yeah.
And the little orthopedic pad that I did have fit in it perfectly.
Yeah.
But I pushed it in there, and I had to force it in, so it is like a mattress in a
Maybe so,
frame.
yeah.
And so maybe if he can't get his mouth around the edges
Right.
and see it like that, or maybe a wooden frame around it,
Right.
maybe we could build one.
Yeah.
Where your bed could fit in there, so you
That's
might
a
not
good
need
idea.
the big arm.
Yeah.
Things. Maybe you just need to stick with the
That's a good
2-3
idea.
inch one and mash it down in something, and then he won't maybe pull it out. So we could try that. And
Yeah.
if there's a crate that's left open, she would go in it. It'd take a lot of work for Porter to pull that out of a large
Right,
crate.
right.
I have one in my laundry room. You
Yeah,
can take
we
it
might
and
could
try.
try
That would
that,
be fun. I want to see now. But there's also other things like paying attention to the water, because we all, when our dogs are, especially living in the South, we want to make sure that they have access to water. But when dogs get older, if you start noticing like them really drinking a lot more water, I'm really going to pay attention to this, because London she drinks water, but she never tanks up. So I would notice it if she
Right.
started tanking up.
Right.
But that can be a sign of them having diabetes or kidney or, failures and things like that. So, because they need more water. So that is something to pay attention to and make sure that your dog is having consistent vet checks.
Yeah.
Because bad breath
Yep.
can be a real problem in aging dogs, but that's because they probably need their teeth cleaned.
Right. And that left unchecked can lead to very serious consequences. And it could be something simple if you stay on top of it, but then if you let it go, it could really be detrimental. So just pay attention, and if their behavior changes, if something physical changes, just get it checked out. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to invest a ton of money and make a lot of changes, but knowledge is power, and you want to stay on top of anything to help them, live their best life and not have to suffer as much as you can. Because a lot of things that show up in old dogs are not things that you have to necessarily worry about. It's just something different. The lumps and the bumps and all of that, that's just life showing up on them, but it's really not something you have to do.
Serious, because that, sadly, one of the number one reasons that dogs lose their lives or, that take them out necessarily is cancer in dogs now.
Yeah.
And so we do want to pay attention to those, but like London, she had those lipomas that was so bad, and they were just fatty tumors all over her body. And you'd pat her and you just feel them, and everybody that would see them would be like, what is this?
Yeah.
I feel this thing.
Yeah.
But, whenever they're eating a lot and taking in a lot of fat, well, London loves to eat a lot of fat. And so what happens is with the lack of exercise, their body is actually not digesting things as well, and they're not processing all this fat, and so it actually turns into tumors because they're not exercising enough. They're taking in too many treats, too much food, and I can tell you, London, I know that's why she has lipomas all over her. But we've had to have a couple of them removed, and because of where it was on her body, it was like right underneath her, and we started noticing her short of breath and just really like, and so the one she had was getting big and it was pressing on her lung.
Yeah.
So we couldn't allow that one to continue, and it was so sad. She looked like a little naked girl.
I know.
Because they literally had to shave her.
Yes, I know.
And I hated that, but that was the only one we really had to remove. But
It's common. It's common in all breeds
Yeah.
to have those, but you do need to
fat dogs.
Check, yeah.
Fatty dogs are going to get
Fatty
them.
dogs get
And ones that don't exercise enough. Maybe that's why I had one. I had the same thing. Me and London both had one. And I was like, okay. So now I know why I had
you
it.
understand, but pay attention to it, get it checked out, but don't overanalyze every little thing. Let them enjoy their golden years as much as possible, because we as people tend to want to give them everything and hyper focus on every little thing and make sure they're fine. And you don't want them spending their end days in vet checks and treatments, and there's a balance there. There is a balance of good health and maintaining that for them, and then also maintaining their quality of life. So you have to decide what that is, but I would just encourage a lot of people not to be oversensitive to treating every little thing if it's not necessary, because you could have had a really good day in the park versus sitting at the vet's office for something that's not necessary.
Don't be like obsessive about it.
Right.
Just know your dog. And you're going to have to make some changes probably in your home. As your dog ages, there's going to be things that you've got to be a little bit more aware of and just make life a little easier.
Yeah.
The other day was funny because London, can really jump up into the car. So we have a Jeep that's really high. And I was like, hey, Fletcher just boing, jumps right up. He's like, does like agility.
Yeah.
He's and then London just kept trying. It was so funny. And I was like, oh, girl, I got you.
I got you. Come on.
I got you, girl. And you'll see the people, getting the ramps now and putting them out. I'm just like, let's just pick her up and put her in.
Yeah. And those are part of the sweet moments, that you get to share with your dog throughout. Even to me, the last third of their life is considered their senior years, but those times and those moments can be so special as well, even though it can be a sad thought if you let it.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
We're not going to go there, but the times you share with them, like her depending on you now to get her up in the car, or you may have to feed them separately if you have other dogs. Well, you can have that time with them, or the special treats, or they have to go on special walks because they can't keep up. Look at that also as sweet times with your dog that do look and feel different, but it's still precious to them, and it's so meaningful. And it can be to you too. So it doesn't have to be all, just.
No.
But it forces you to have a different experience with them that is just as sweet.
Yeah, I think what we could take away from all this today is just remember, look at them, remember all the goodness that you've had with them, remember all the great times. And when they start doing things that are like frustrating because they're older, don't let it get to you.
No.
When they can't hold their bladder like they used to, or you come in the morning and there's an accident and they drop their head, don't be so mad at them,
Yeah.
Don't do all those things. Have some grace. Let them grow old gracefully.
Yeah.
They put so much in. And so it is a good time,
It is. And we've all heard it before, but that, they are in our lives for a small portion of it, but we are in theirs for their entirety.
That's right.
And we are their everything from start to finish. And they trust us completely and fully. And that's the kind of love that they give us. It's almost like they have earned their badge of honor to live out their life with grace and have the sweetest memories right up till the end. And the end can be beautiful too.
That is so true. And you got to be aware that things are changing and they don't understand.
Right.
I mean, their eyes are growing dimmer, and you'll start noticing like a little haze or fuzziness over their eyes that comes with aging. They have hearing loss as well. It's so funny to watch Pinga, who is our neighbor, Schnoodle, and she's just as agile as ever, and she's like 13.
Yeah.
And she runs the ball all day long, but she cannot hear a thing. And it is so funny. We're like, Pinga, Pinga. And then we're like, okay, she can't hear us. So we're doing signs like, over there. And she's like looking at us. So her vision is still really good, but her hearing is not. And so you have to make adjustments for them. And also, though, they don't, that your dog, let's say your older dog is laying on the couch. Well, they've got all the good vision, before they can see the peripheral, they know what's going on, they can hear, they can see, they can sense. And then as those senses start diminishing, they get startled easier. So they don't hear you walk up on them, or they don't see the grandchild run up. So you've got to be a little bit aware that they could, out of just startledness or a reaction, maybe turn around and react in a way that is you might be like, why did, maybe they just jumped or growled or snarled or showed their teeth, or maybe even did a little bite like Tara, because they don't understand the changes are happening. So you have to make adjustments, and I have to think about that with London as she's getting older, and my little grandchildren were coming up. Now, she loves them because they always smell like food, taste like food, drop crumbs. So she really loves that about them, and she's learned they're good, these little humans are. But I also warn them, let's not get right in her face. Let's not go right up to her. Let's make sure. Because London already did that to puppies, kind of did the snarl thing. So I wanted to make sure she didn't do it with the grandkids. But as she gets older, I'm going to be more conscious of them not doing that. And if I see that changing with her and her not being able to, if she starts reacting, I'll just put her in my room or something when they're there. I'll be very careful.
Right.
Because as they get older, you have to be aware of things like that.
Yeah, and you've got to be their advocate too when they can't do that. So.
Yeah, and their brain changes.
Yeah.
They can go through things. If you start noticing your dog like staring at the wall for no reason, I mean, things like that.
Yeah.
If you start noticing them, like they always run to the door and bark, like London does. If you come to the door, she's going to bark. If she quits doing that,
Right.
things like that, you have to realize, okay, things are changing.
Yeah, I've caught myself doing sign language, not actual sign language, but things that Ruthie can identify because her hearing is not great anymore. It's really terrible, actually. So I do catch myself, getting on her level and doing things, and not out of a conscious, it's just something that you do,
You're
it's just
interacting.
my interactions with her. I'm like, okay, she sees me, she recognizes what I'm doing. So just changing a few little things just to accommodate their oldness is fine, and it works. You just figure out a new way.
Well, and we have such deep connections with them, and we have such a great relationship. And no other puppy or dog can come in and replace that,
No.
So even though we have other dogs in the home and we're raising puppies and we're bringing them up, it's just like your family. I know a lot of times you think, I love this dog so much, and I don't know if I should, like you said, do that to them. But really and truly, it's a blessing for them to be able to put some of them into the next generation of dogs, because there's little things that I'm sure Porter's going to pick up from Ruthie and Millie that years from now you'll remember,
Well, I think this is a way that I kind of look at it, and would encourage other people to look at it too, is that each dog is like a little walking treasure box, and they all carry their own precious memories with them and what they walk through with you and those moments that they share. And so each one is going to be a different box and hold different memories. And it's so sweet. And if you'll think back to those moments, if you think back to things that you walked through, even if you weren't aware at the time, remember where your dog was. Remember what they were doing. Remember where they chose to maybe physically position themselves, or how they inserted themselves, because they know a situation. They read the room. And if you have that kind of relationship with your dog, look back on old photos. Go pull out, the photos of you and the dog you had growing up as a child, and try to just pay attention. I catch myself doing this, even, from my grandparents' photos. Like, if there was a dog there, where was that dog? What was it doing in that moment? And usually, and if you do have that type of relationship, you're going to see that their position or where they were physically was very purposeful from the dog's perspective. Walking through a couple of big life things that I can think of off the top of my head. When I would move, I've moved twice with Ruthie. I think it's just twice. But just packing up the home that she knew or remembered, and having my suitcases out, and walking back into that room, and Ruthie had packed, and she did this both times. She packed her favorite toy in my suitcase. And she laid it there like, okay, we're doing this together. You're not forgetting me, though. I put my monkey in there, and it was always that monkey. And the second time, it's the same thing. We're leaving. She obviously can tell the house is getting empty, and she's like, okay, well, I'm packing too, and that monkey goes in my suitcase. And that just doesn't happen. Dogs are so aware. No, they're so aware of this situation. When my mom passed away, it was in our family home, and the dogs were there. Now, no one was obviously paying attention to the dogs that day or in that moment, but the dogs were paying attention, and they knew where to be and what to do. And at that time, that was only, 2 years ago. So they were senior dogs, and even more so probably knew how to handle that situation and those people, or whoever was dealing with whatever at the time, to just physically be there, to either sit at your feet or to rub up against you or put pressure on you, just a calming pressure. They so know what to do. So look back at photos, look back at your memories, try to remember, where was my dog at that time? They aren't the focus in that moment, but they are serving a purpose.
Wow, that's such a beautiful picture. That's a beautiful picture. Love that so much. I'm definitely going to do that. When you go to your iPhone, and you look at your images, you can put the word dog or dogs in. When I do it, there's like thousands. But if you want to just walk down that memory lane, I challenge you guys today to pull up your phone, type in dog or dogs, and just look at your pictures of your dogs. And I bet you're going to just have a wonderful time just celebrating the life that you've lived with your dogs, the ones in the past, the ones that you have present. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
It is.
I love that.
And don't be deterred by the what ifs and what's down the road, because it's worth it. Each phase of life is worth it, and they've earned that from you to live that the end of their life as beautifully and as gracefully as they can, and they will. So don't be afraid of that.
And that's what we want for all of the dogs here at Smeraglia. You know, the dogs that are here, that are our parent dogs, they have a beautiful story to tell as well. They come here as puppies. They live their best life. They grow up. They go through the process of testing and training and figuring out who's going to make it into the program. But we don't keep them in the program until old age. We would never do that. We just keep them in there for just a period of time. But the greatest portion of their life's going to be the time that they walk through this season. And so that's what we have our retirement dog program. And so many of our clients, and maybe many of you might realize, you know, that's the phase of life that I want with a dog. Maybe I don't want to go through puppyhood and all the Porter stuff and Fletcher stuff that we've had to walk through. You want the dog that's seasoned, that already is just, they got it.
Yeah.
And our dogs, you know, as you can see, are super healthy. The puppies live so long, but our parent dogs do too, because we invest so much into their life and testing them and checking them, but we want them to go into the best situation. And so that parent dog program,
it's beautiful too.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of match some people in their phase of life, and they walk it out together. So it's a great opportunity for a lot of people out there, and so many people have taken advantage of that. And if you want to be considered as a family for one of our retired dogs, we would love to talk to you and match you with the right puppy. We do have Jared, who typically handles all that on staff, would be happy to talk with you and see what your needs are and get you matched up with one of our retired
if
dogs.
you ever call in or go to our website, it's, you know, jared.info@Smeraglia, and just say, hey, I'm interested in that program. Let me see if I qualify, or if this is the right thing for me. And what they'll do is send you over a little DocuSign app, and it's for just the retired dog program, and you can fill that out, and then we can see if you can be matched. And man, so many of our clients have taken advantage of that opportunity, and it's so wonderful for them.
It is. That's some of our sweetest stories come out of that as well. But we really hope that you guys love on your senior dogs extra, understand how much they do for us, and appreciate them and appreciate all that they do up till the very end. It's been so sweet to share this kind of stuff with y'all, and we look forward to hearing your stories. Like Sherry said, please share with us.
To hear your stories about your senior dogs.
It's just amazing to us, and we love for you guys to stay connected. You can, comment here. You can always email us too, unleashed@smeraglia.com. We always are happy to receive messages through there, and that's stuff that we can share here on this platform for sure.
And I'm looking forward to next week.
What's happening next week?
Well, we are going to have a segment called Life on the Farm, and we're just going to, once a month, do a recap of what's happening this month, because even though we love dogs and we're unleashed here, and we're talking about so many educational things, there's so much more that happens on the farm.
Yes.
We have other animals, we have cows, and we have horses, and we have sheep and goats and chickens and honeybees and
horses,
all kind of things that really make it life on the farm. And the things that we've done this week, we're going to talk more about next week. We'll talk about the highlight, what really happened unique, that month. And this week, we actually are in the process of what we're going to talk a little bit about next week, but Embark, our DNA, it's a testing service, the DNA company Embark, they are here, and we are making videos for them, and they are tutorials. Our social media team is working very closely with them, making tutorials for other breeders to know how to test their dogs efficiently, effectively, how to do it right. And we kind of are the gold standard as far as how they want it done. So we're making all these videos, and if you didn't see what we've posted on Facebook and Instagram this week, go and check it out. It's really interesting, but we will recap it, and we're making a whole video that we'll show everybody soon.
Yeah.
But lots of great things happening. We've really had a great time here with you guys today, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Y'all have a great week.
Bye.
At Fletch and Lo, we don't just sell products. We help create moments of joy with your furry friend. Nothing makes us happier than our pets, and nothing makes them as happy as a new toy or accessory. So treat them in style with the entire Fletch and Lo collection of goods and products. From the very beginning, we have tested every product that we offer, proving that we are amongst the leading purveyors of the finest canine goods available in the market. At the heart of it all, we seek to do one simple thing: nurture the relationship between dog and owner. Join us at fletchandlo.com today to create your special moments that will last a lifetime.